Hey friends and nail fam, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we are live swatching Glam Polish's Goth Girl collection. This collection is already live and I will have the details down below for how you can use your discount code to pick these up. And if you're part of my nail fam, I'd just like to say thank you for everything you do. And don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you never miss an upload. Our first polish is going to be Barbie, Eat Your Heart Out. It's described as a murky green with aurora shimmer and reflective glitter. Now, the first thing I'd like to go over is I am so very happy. I am absolutely elated that we have this wider brush now. And like the little curve at the tip is just perfect for my wonky nail lines and for my weird cuticles because I do not have your standard like squoval cuticle line. I just don't. It's always slightly askew in all of my nails. So I appreciate the wider brush, and I would like to say that I did use 2 coats of this polish to get full opacity, and that was just perfect for me given my application style. Now, if you're a fan of my channel, you've probably already seen that my first coats are always very thin and kind of patchy because I like to try to get close to my cuticle, but I also don't want to overrun it with polish. So I push a lot of the polish off for that first coat and then go all in on the second. And then I finish with a nice glossy quick dry top coat, which was perfect for this polish because the reflective glitter was not overwhelming. It just gave it that little bit of a sparkle that just absolutely makes me thrilled to wear polish. Now, I loved the Aurora Shimmer just because it gave it a very fall and beautiful autumn kind of vibe. So that's my feelings on Barbie Eat Your Heart Out. Next up is Why Aren't You Dead? This one is described as a blackened indigo base with aurora shimmer and reflective glitter. Now, again, love the brush. Formula is great. So both check marks are great in that regard. And I really liked the fact that this one surprised me. I did not see black and indigo as a base. I definitely just went straight into the green category because the Aurora Shimmer kind of switched that up for the appearance of the polish. And I, upon very close inspection, see the black and indigo, but only in the spots where it's like thin and patchy on my first coat. So I can definitely say that yes, that is true. Dark indigo is the base, but ooh, that aurora shimmer gave so much shift and beautiful vibrance to this polish. So I definitely saw like a dark pine green, and I also felt like I saw a little bit of orange there, maybe a little bit of yellow in some angles. And then, of course, we have our reflective glitter, which is the last element of the polish formula. And I just felt like I could wear this in the winter, I could wear this in the fall, and it is the perfect vampy polish, especially if you're looking to get out of the vampy reds and purples and blues that normally pop up in this category. So I was very excited to wear this one. I thought it looked great on me, which is a very big portion of whether or not I will choose to keep a polish or pass it along to other members in the community in my D-stash. So those were my thoughts on Why Aren't You Dead? This next one is My Whole Life is a Dark Room. This is a dark teal with aurora shimmer and reflective glitter. So we've got a dark teal base here. And if you're looking at like my still shots, did you see dark teal? Because I didn't see dark teal in the beginning. except for when I was like applying it in that first coat, and then I was like, is that dark teal or am I imagining things? So I went ahead and did my second coat, which I have to say, second coats for me are when I actually really start counting opacity for a polish because I'm always going to go thin on my first coat. It's never going to be magical on the first coat unless the polish is just that level of viscosity and opacity all in one. But second coat is usually where I really start to pay attention. And I loved that the shimmer just really worked well with that little bit of reflective glitter to give us sparkle, shine, and shimmer that shifts from different colors because you do get a little bit of the base and then you also get the colors that are in the Aurora shimmer. Now, I did go through a thing because I was like, is Aurora Shimmer always the same colors? Let me know in the comments down below. Is Aurora Shimmer always the same color and it just changes up depending on your base color? Or are there different color categories of Aurora Shimmer? Because I definitely saw different vibes, but it was always Aurora Shimmer in the description. So those were my thoughts on My Whole Life is a Dark Room, and we're moving on to one of my favorites of the collection. This one is Unpleasant Dreams, and it's described as a deep purple base with aurora shimmer and reflective glitter. And I immediately laughed for this one because how predictable is it that I keep saying that I'm over purple and then immediately a deep purple base comes up and it is one of my favorites of the collection. I just inwardly shrugged at this point because it seems like I cannot escape my obsession with purples. And I'm okay with it, especially with this polish because I definitely felt like I saw aqua, teal, blue, green in that Aurora shimmer. And then we still have that element of twinkling, sparkling like starlight from the reflective glitter in the polish. So I very much appreciated that. And I liked that it was a nice enough balance that I could still top it with one quick dry top coat instead of having to do a smoother and a glossy top coat in addition to it. That meant a lot to me and definitely made me fall for this polish in a huge way because I was not expecting it. And the color combinations just show through really well, giving me that feeling of definitely receiving a lot of value for a polish that only needs two coats to look this beautiful and no special restrictions or conditions. So that was my thoughts on Unpleasant Dreams. Now we come to one of my other favorites of the collection, and you can tell by the inflection in my voice that I could not get enough of those two. This one is I'm Not Friend Material. It's described as a murky green base with aurora shimmer and reflective glare. Now, I did touch on this in my short that I did not see murky green base coming when I saw this bottle. So I feel like polished descriptions as well as swatches really have a place in the community. And it's so important because just by looking at the bottle, you would not guess some of these magical color combinations that seem to pop up when makers create their polishes. So two coats in and I was not seeing murky green anymore. I was just seeing the vampy red of my dreams because the Aurora Shimmer gives it that appearance of like a dark vampy red maroon. You get a little bit of shimmer of orange in there, maybe a little pink, and at extreme angles you might hallucinate a little yellow. I don't know, it could be me, but I was just absolutely I don't even have a word for how magnificent I thought this polish was because I just couldn't stop staring at it. I was transfixed on my nails all day because I could not stop staring and thinking, maybe I am ready for fall. Maybe I don't know myself as well as my makers think they possibly know everyone, because I was definitely sticking to my brights and wore this one for a week, and maybe fall is here. I don't know. Maybe the weather is wrong. And those were my thoughts on I'm Not Friend material, which brings us to our last polish. This is Being Different is a Gift, Not a Curse, and it's a vampy crimson base with aurora shimmer and reflective glitter. Again, I was kind of caught off guard by the base description because I was like, is this a vampy crimson? I didn't think it was that vampy of a crimson because actually I had just stared at I'm Not Friend material. So my color sense was definitely thrown off kilter to an extreme level, I feel like, because I was seeing fuchsia, I was seeing pink, but I was not seeing vampy crimson until I got into my second coat. And then I was like, oh, I see now. And especially when I was going from room to room in my house, and you'd go from the room that has sunlight in it to the room that doesn't have sun streaming into the window because it's on the opposite side of the house. And I was like, I see now, because it's actually a lot darker when you're in a darker room lighting setting. So definitely, I tried to get some distance away from my overhead light just so that you all could see that in that shot, and definitely underneath something so that you could see it shaded. And that's where the vampy part really comes through. And I still like that polish. But overall, my favorites for this collection, those were my thoughts on Being Different is a Gift, Not a Curse. Overall thoughts: the Aurora Shimmer, it's the real star here because these bases are beautiful. And yes, I would definitely wear them in a cream form, but the Aurora Shimmer gives it so much impact, so much depth, and creates this magical illusion that I loved them. So that's it for me. If you're part of my nail fam, thank you for doing all of the algorithm thingies, sharing, liking, commenting, subscribing, and getting those notifications. I appreciate you so much. I'm sending out virtual hugs. Don't forget to check the description box for discount codes, and let me know if you want me to keep doing long form content because shorts are pretty easy. That's it for me. Bye.